Guys, and welcome back to another video. Hello there. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be talking about the characters I would like to see return to EastEnders. Now, as you see right in front of me, there are loads of characters on the screen. Obviously, these are characters who are dead in the show, supposedly, and I would like to see them return. Obviously, with Mark and Jamie, obviously they can't they can't come back as in from the dead properly as a big return storyline. So I'd like to see them back as ghosts. Mark to obviously speak to Martin would be really great, and obviously Jamie to speak to Sonia or Martin. I think that would be really work as well. It would be really cool. And today I'm just going to be talking about characters I'd like to see return to EastEnders. And yeah, let's get into the video. Please remember to like and subscribe. And yeah, so these are the characters I'd like to see return from the dead. But as I just mentioned, Mark and Jamie, I think, would better done as if they were ghosts, a bit like how they did with Pat and a few other people in the past. I feel like that would be really great to see them two back, obviously, because these two, obviously, now that they're both there, both of their characters are dead on screen, it would be really great to see them as ghosts and things. And obviously, Jamie talking to Martin would be very interesting as well. So yeah, that would be just amazing if I'm completely honest. Moving on to the other two, I think Fat Boy is a very good contender to come back because we saw him come back for the flashback episode last year. So I think Fat Boy is definitely in the frame to come back. Hopefully they'll probably just address like, something like I don't know how they're going to address the fact that he got crushed to death, or did he though? We don't actually know. So hopefully we can address where Fat Boy's gone, because that'd be interesting. Because we don't know whether he's dead or don't know whether he's alive. So hopefully we would get an answer, because I'd love to see Fat Boy back in the show. He's just so great, and it was great seeing him last year rock up as well. He's actually on Dancing on Ice this year, so that's going to be fairly interesting. So yeah, um, yeah, I'd love to see Fat Boy again, and also him to speak with like Peter and Lauren. I think it would be really great, kind of that gang, also with Jay and all that sort of stuff. I think that would be great to see them like hang out as well, which would be interesting because it's been quite a while. It's been like 9 years since Fat Boy died, supposedly. So it would be interesting to see Fat Boy back on the square. And obviously the big one is Mick. Obviously, I think Mick will come back eventually. Give it another couple of years, and I hopefully Mick will be back, and there'll be a big return from the dead storyline, which I hope would be amazing because obviously Danny Dyer is a great actor. Love his character. Mick Carter's just a very good character, very well written, very well portrayed by Danny Dyer, and yeah, I really hope they bring him back because with Dean being on the square, obviously Mick would want to keep Linda away from Dean as much as possible, and I think that Mick's such a great character, and I think that we should keep his character in the square, and it's a shame that he's gone. So hopefully we can bring him back, and that'll be brilliant. So yeah, but these are the characters he's come back from the dead. These two obviously we think they're kind of still alive anyway. But obviously them two, we know that they're dead completely. So yeah, I mean those are the characters I'd like to see come back from the dead. And yeah, that'd be absolutely amazing if that was to happen. Moving on now to a few of the other characters that I would like to see back in EastEnders. So yeah, let's move on. Now I'm going to start off with a few of the couples in EastEnders that I would like to see return. And in front of me, you may be able to see Liam Butcher and Cindy Bill Jr. or Cindy Williams Jr., however you want to say it. But yeah, I would really like to see them two back because I think they had such a great partnership way back in 2014, 2015 when they were on Square together. I really think they had a really good relationship, and also they looked after the baby Beth as well when they went to go off and live to Germany. I know these characters have since separated according to EastEnders because they were mentioned that they had split up and stuff. So I hope that Cindy returns to Albert Square and then Liam kind of follows her because he's that in love with her that he would do anything for her. So maybe a storyline like that. And yeah, Liam Butcher's a great character as well. So Liam and Cindy. Obviously, I've got the old Liam on display because the new Liam from 2021. A lot of people didn't like that kind of portrayal of Liam. I mean, I thought he was alright, but I do prefer the original actor because he's just great. And yeah, and I think that it would be great because obviously Cindy needs to find out that Cindy, her mother, is still alive, and I think that it's a bit late if we're just going to be waiting around forever to see Cindy return, which would be very much of a downside, really. And I would love to see these two back on the square, obviously, and Bianca's returning as well, which means Liam kind of could, but I don't think that's very likely. But yeah, Liam Butcher's a great character, and obviously Cindy Junior is a brilliant character as well. I feel like these two might have to be recast because the actress who plays Cindy Junior, Mimi Keene, she's a big star on Netflix and things like that. So I don't know whether she would come back to the square. Um, but never, never mind. I mean, I would really like to see the character back. Also, Liam, that's a worry as well, whether they would recast Liam again or bring back the previous actor. But if they did bring back the previous actor, maybe make the previous actor go for a different take on Liam because that was very different to the original Liam. So it's a bit of a contrast, really. And yeah, but if you got hold of the original actor and played Liam again, that would be brilliant as well. Also, I'm here if you want me to play Liam Butcher, even though I'm a bit young. But yeah, so yeah, yeah, I would really like to see them both back, and I think they're great characters. And obviously, we could do with the baby thing, and obviously, even though Liam's not the actual biological father, he could still have an attachment to the child. Obviously, that child's probably really old now, like 9 or something ridiculous at this point. So yeah, I really think that would be great to see them both again. And if we don't, it's not the end of the world. I think they're two brilliant characters, and hopefully they come back to Albert Square. Moving on to another two set of characters who I would like to see return. I've just realised I'm doing it in a pattern. So I've got couples, which yeah. So obviously Gary Hobbs and Dawn. Now Dawn Swan and Gary Hobbs, I think, are a very random couple, but they work. There's something there. They've got really great thing, and um, obviously both of the actors who play them are just amazing, and they have great chemistry, even though they're very odd. They're very opposite. It's a very different couple, I think, and which is really interesting. I'd love to see, obviously, Dawn go and speak to Jay, obviously, because she looked after Jay for quite a while when he was younger, and obviously his dad died, and then before Billy took him in. So yeah, that would be interesting to see them two speak again. Um, That'd be great. And obviously, Gary's just funny and a bit of a wally, and his relationship with Minty is really great as well. So yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you want to see these two back on Out Square? I would actually like them to run the Vic. That would be brilliant. That'd be brilliant. I don't know why, because it would just be so funny. Actually, all of the Miller family, I'd love them to bring them back because they're just kind of gone. All of them are gone completely. They're out of the way. They're completely gone out the window. Yeah, they're gone. So if we were to bring back the Millers, I think that would be really brilliant, and particularly Dawn and Gary. Who knows? They could be married. They could be settled down. They could have a few children by now. I mean, that was 2009, so that's quite a while ago. That's more than 10 years ago. So yeah, so I think it would be brilliant to see them two again. And yeah, that's kind of what I have to say on that. And also they could bring back other characters like obviously Mickey and their brother as well, which would be really interesting. And I'd love to see that. I love the Miller family. What a great family. Now on to the next two I would like to see back on Albert Square, and that is Spencer Moon and Vicky Fowler, because these characters are just great. I really love them. They got a really great chemistry. I think they work really well together, even though I do think Spencer does work quite well with Kelly as well. If they want to bring back Spencer, bring back with Kelly or Vicky, I mean, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, I think Spencer's a great character. He's not a, like, in some EastEnders characters, he's nice. He's like a nice character. You can't do anything against Spencer Moon. Spencer Moon is a nice person. He wouldn't do anything wrong because he's Spencer Moon. He's like a great character. He's not evil. He's not horrible. He's just great, and I love his relationship with Martin Fowler. They've got a really good friendship. Also, his friendship with Asif and all the other characters as well. Um, yeah, also Mickey as well. They get on really well, and he's just such a great character. It's a shame that we never saw more of him, and I really like to see Spencer again because Spencer is just such a great character. I'd also love to see Vicky again because Vicky is a good character as well, even though she was only on screen for like 2 years. Um, I'd really like to see her again because it's a bit weird how these two haven't come back to see their brother or their sister. It's just a bit weird because Vicky didn't even show up to I don't think it was Dennis's funeral. I don't think she didn't turn up to like her dad's funeral or anything like that, which I found a bit weird. And also, obviously, Spencer, he hasn't been on the square since 2005, and she hasn't been on the square since 2004. So it's very unlikely that these two will ever return. But I'm still a big fan of them. I know they're living in Australia together, running a bar or something like that. Apparently, that's where Michelle is now as well, Michelle Fowler. So who knows? Martin might see them as he's over there at the moment in the show. Yeah, but I think these two are great characters. They could be settled down. They could have children by now. That would be interesting. I really do love their characters because Spencer's just such a nice guy. Is like exactly like Alfie Moon. He's like Alfie but a bit younger, which I think's nice, and they get on so well. And obviously Vicky's very nice as well. And they had some good storylines together, particularly that storyline where Vicky had the abortion, and yeah, that was interesting storyline. But they really do love each other. They were great characters on screen. That's probably why they've stayed together off screen for like a long time. So very interesting. Would love to see them back in EastEnders. But I feel like this one's very unlikely. This is like the Liam and Cindy one is very unlikely as well. But these two pairings, I think they're brilliant, and they're still together now. These characters, and I just think it would be great to see them again. So now on to Derek. Now Derek is one of my absolute favourite characters in classic EastEnders that I've watched over the years, and also he did make a brief return in like 2016 or 2017, whatever it was. But but as a character, now Derek's played by Ian Lavender, and Ian Lavender obviously played Pike in the legendary sitcom Dad's Army. And I'm not saying that just because of that. I mean, he is brilliant in Dad's Army, don't get me wrong, but his character in this is just brilliant. I love his relationship with Martin Fowler, that kind of father-son dynamic, which I think is really nice as well. Obviously, he didn't really get to work with James By, the current actor who portrays Martin Fowler, so that'll be interesting to see the dynamic work between them two, which would be interesting. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think Derek is just a lovely character, someone who's really friendly and nice, and someone that you need in the show. That there are quite a lot of depressive storylines, and you need some nice characters who really make the mood and the atmosphere like a little bit nicer, rather than it just being arguments, fights, and all that sort of stuff that seems to go down these days. So yeah, it would be nice to see Derek on the square. He could see Martin. Sorry about that. He could also get to visit Pauline's grave as well, which would be very nice, and Mark's grave obviously as well. So that would be very nice as well, and also Sonia and a few other characters. But yeah, I think Derek's a great character. He's sort of like, he's really nice, and he also took the blame for stuff that Martin had done as well, and he really stood up to Martin. He showed him that he was a nice guy and made everything great again. And I just think that he's a great character, and I love that scene of him and Martin on the beach after Martin's just found out that Mark's dead, and Derek had known the entire time that he was going to die anyway, which you get to see Martin's real anger and aggression and all of that, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. You also get to see how much Derek actually thinks of Martin as a son, and Martin's just like, oh, son, and he's like, you are only the lodger, and he goes like that, and he like smacks him in the face or something, and then obviously Derek obviously punches back, and he says, yeah, I just think that's a really great scene. He was like, we did it to protect him, and I think that's really brilliant how they did that all to to protect Martin and to make him. Yeah, I think he's just a great character really, and his dynamic with Martin and Pauline I think is just incredible, because he's a really great replacement of Arthur, and I think and we need a character like that kind of Arthur character in the show now, and I think that Derek is there, and he needs to be there, because I'd love to see Derek on the square, because he's just such a lovely character. And I've probably waffled on now for ages about Derek, but I think Derek is a really great character and someone who needs to return. Ian Lavender, you're such a brilliant actor. But yeah, I think you're a brilliant actor, and I'd love to see you on the square. Moving on to the last person on my list who I'd like to see return to Albert Square, and that is Gus Smith. Now, some people might not remember Gus Smith. Some people might have forgotten who Gus Smith is, but I really like Gus Smith. It's a bit similar to the Derek situation, where I really like Derek as a character because he's nice, kind, and just generally a decent person, which you don't get a lot on soaps. You get a lot of absolute morons as characters. So to have a character who's nice and fits the kind of, being a great character, Gus Smith is one of them characters. And also, I know that Sonya's with Reese, and I know she's happy with Reese, she's trying to have a baby with Reese, but I think Sonya deserves someone like Gus. Someone who doesn't lie, he's not horrible, he's just generally a good person, and I think Sonya was meant for Gus Smith. I don't think she's meant for Reese, really, even though she does get on with Reese quite a lot. I really like to see her with Gus, because Gus is just a great character. Absolutely love his character, it's brilliant. And something else I must say is that Gus was also very loyal to Sonya, very loving to Sonya, and obviously in a similar way to how Martin Fowler used to be until they changed him quite a fair bit. Yeah, so not to say that Martin doesn't still care about Sonya, he does, but she's not that much involved in her life anymore. But I would just like to say that Gus would be a great match for Sonya, and they get on quite well, and I just think he's generally a great character. Yeah, I've all interesting relationship. You could have him with like Kelly or something, or something like that. That would be interesting. Oh yeah, I should probably add her to the list, but yeah, I would like to see Kelly back on the show because she's rather brilliant as well. But yeah, I think Gus is a great character. He even took Wellard in when Robbie moved to India, or I think it was India. Yeah. But yeah, so I would really like to see him back, and yeah, that's kind of what I have to say. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in a video soon enough. I hope you all enjoyed it. I love making these videos, and there hopefully will be a few more videos out coming soon. I'm hoping to review this, which is the Underwater Menace new DVD. I got it for Christmas actually. Yeah, I'm hoping to review this, and that'll be very interesting. I'm also hoping to do a few more videos on Last Summer Wine, about Norman Clegg video, and also I am going to be reviewing Blood actually. It's taken me a while, but I'll get there. So hope you enjoyed the video, and bye for now.